Hare Krishna, we continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute. Text 24. Avyaktam vyaktim apanam manyante mam abhudyaha param bhavam ajanato mama vayayam anuttamam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So just now we were hearing in Chaitanya Charitamrita that people who deny the existence of God or who think that God is a product of ignorance, then their knowledge is covered. Krishna is saying that unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So Krishna is saying that if you think that I am just light, and then now I have taken this form of Krishna, if you think that, then you don't know me very well, and your intelligence is very small. Your knowledge is very small and you don't have intelligence. This is what he's saying. He's saying if you think that that God is just light and that this light now suddenly has taken this form of Krishna, means you have no intelligence and your knowledge is very little. And because of this, you're not able to understand me. I am God. I am the Supreme Personality. I am the Supreme Personality. He's saying. So it's only Krishna who speaks such clearly he says, I am God. No one else says that. No one says that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only Krishna says it. So he's not boasting. He's not being proudful. We boast, I am this, I have this, I am whatever, this title, I am that title. We may speak out of pride. But here Krishna is not speaking out of pride. He's not boasting. He's just simply saying the truth. Because if he were not to say the truth, how would we know who is the truth? He says, I'm God. We simply have to follow him. We have to have faith in him and follow him. Those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons. And here the impersonalists are similarly described. So Krishna says that those who worship the demigods, there are 33 crore demigods. Some demigods are more famous than the others. But Krishna says if you worship the demigods, means you're not very intelligent. And Krishna says that if you're following the impersonalist path, if you think that God does not exist, or if you think that you are God, or that everyone is God, or if you think that God is just some energy or just some power, then he says that, oh, this is not a sign of intelligence. So we may be thinking this, but we need to hear what Krishna is saying and become intelligent. We may be less intelligent, we may not be intelligent. So what do we need to do? We need to hear. That's the reason we are hearing from Bhagavad Gita, so that we can become intelligent. Now, we can't say, oh, because I was unintelligent before, I should continue to remain unintelligent. No, I used to believe in this philosophy, and so I'm going to continue. No, that is a sign of being even more unintelligent. So we may be all having these kind of ideas, but let us rise above that. Let us rise and hear from Krishna and become intelligent. Lord Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna. And still due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. So Bhagavad Gita, Song of God, it is spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra in front of millions and millions of soldiers who are assembled there on the battlefield just before the battle is about to begin. This is a known fact all over the universe. Krishna, he is a person and he is speaking these instructions to Arjuna, who is a person too. It's not that Krishna is just some light who's speaking to Arjuna. No, it's Krishna personally who's speaking to Arjuna. We have seen the picture, that Krishna is there on the chariot, Arjuna is kneeling before him. So Krishna is a person, personal form. Now, when we say person, we may say, oh, but person means a material body. But then that means we are thinking that the person, that the living entity is material. No. Krishna's form is spiritual. It's not material. Krishna's form is transcendental, even if he's here in the material world. So we, the spirit soul, we also have a spiritual form. But right now, that spiritual form is covered by this material body. Our body right now is material. Our real spiritual form is covered by the material body, but not Krishna. Krishna's form is not covered by material body. His form is never covered by material body. That's the difference between him and us. Krishna never takes a material body. We take material bodies when we are in the material world. So it's only out of ignorance when we say, oh, God has no form. We are being ignorant. Why? Because here we can see God is there. Krishna is saying, I'm God. So he has a form. That's how he's speaking. He has a mouth, so he's speaking. And if we say, no, but he has no form, then we are being foolish. Yamanajacharya, a great devotee of the Lord in the disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya, has written a very appropriate verse in this connection. He says, so Ramanujacharya, he is the Acharya of the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya is also a bona fide Sampradaya. There are four bona fide Sampradayas. One is the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, one is the Nimbarka Sampradaya, one is the Rudra Sampradaya, and one is the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. We are in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Yamanajacharya has said, Kamshila Rupa Charite Parama Prakrishte Satvena Satvikataya Balescha Shastre Prakyata Deva Paramartha Vidam Matescha Neva Sura Prakritya Prabhavanti Bodhum. Oh, this is a little long, so we'll just read this. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasadeva and Narad know you to be the personality of Godhead. So Yamanacharya is telling that what are Vyasadeva and Narad Muni? What are they saying? They're saying that, my dear Lord Krishna, you are God. The great authorities like Vyasadeva and Narad, they are speaking this. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities. And one can thus understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So God has a spiritual form. God has activities. He has activities, spiritual activities. He has spiritual qualities. And all this we can know when we study the Shastra. The Shastras are full of descriptions of the personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non-devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However expert such non-devotees may be in discussing Vedanta and the Upanishads and other Vedic literatures, it is not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. Stotra Ratna 12. So we may become great scholars. We may say, I've studied the Vedas, I've studied the Vedanta Sutra, I have studied the Upanishads, I am a great expert in the Vedas. But if I have not come to the point, I'm sorry, of understanding God, means I have not understood the scriptures, means I have just superficially become a scholar. I have not really gotten the knowledge that I need to know about God, about the personality of Godhead. If I have not revived my love of God by studying the Vedas and Upanishads and all the different Shastras, then I am just merely, that means I have not even studied them. I have not even begun to touch the Vedas, because all the Vedas are, the point of all the Vedas is to understand Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, Vedas Jasarver Aham Eva Vedya. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. So if somebody says, I've studied all the Vedas, I've studied the Upanishads, and I declare that there is no God, or that I am God, means I have not studied the Vedas. Means my knowledge is stolen by Maya. My knowledge is covered by Maya. And so that's the reason it is so important to hear from the devotees, to study the Shastras under the guidance of the devotees. That's the way to study. If we want to get medical knowledge, we go enroll ourselves in a medical school. We study under under a professional medical teacher, practice under a professional medical practitioner. Then we can become expert. So this is the same way we want to become, we want to understand spiritual knowledge. We need to hear from the devotees who have understood the spiritual knowledge. So we'll stop here for today. This purport is a little longer. Is that okay?
Yes, okay. Yes, it's okay.
Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.